One thing you have to understand before everything else is that your content on your website is more important than your domain name. Amazon, Alibaba, Airbnb, Google, Yahoo, Bing, they are all some made up names, but it is what they do that made us remember what those names represent. So your content on your website is what defines your domain name. But of course, selecting a memorable domain name is also important because it will stick with you for as long as your business is running, and it is definitely something personal. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 guidelines to help you choose an amazing and memorable domain name. Hey, it's Jack from SproutMarketer, and if you're new here, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell because we are going to post videos regularly to help you grow your affiliate marketing business. So what constitutes a good domain name? Should you use a brand name or should you use keywords? Honestly, there is no right answer, but here are some guidelines to help you in this process. First, you should keep your domain name short. Alright, I know that most short .com names are already taken, so it is very difficult to find short names. But hear me out, if you can find a domain name that is lesser than 15 characters, which is totally possible, then it is considered short. Of course, this is just a guideline. I do see some long domain names that are successful, but definitely not something like howtomakegoodsmoothieforyourbaddie.com. Not only should you keep your domain name short, it is advisable to keep it below 6 syllables because it is easier to remember. Just take a look at this. Bare Naked Scam, SproutMarketer, Wholesome Baby Food, K9 Dimensions, Dog Training Revolution, Karen Prio Academy, Animal Humane Society. You get what I mean now, right? The more syllable there is, the harder it is to remember. Next, your domain name should be easy to understand. Let's check out these made up examples. Healthveracity.com. Sounds good. Something about health. Don't know what veracity means. Obstreperouschild.com. What child again? So these examples, although they have good meaning, health veracity actually means truth about health, and obstreperous child actually means noisily and stubbornly defiant child. These domain names are not easy to understand. I would avoid words that require someone to look up a dictionary. Next, your domain name should be scalable. I will give you a very good example, my own domain name, barenakedscam.com. It is actually quite a unique name and I really love it, but I'm limited to exposing scams and talking about business opportunities. But if I start to educate people about online business or something like that, the domain name becomes not relevant anymore. Let me ask you, will you trust barenakedscam.com to deliver a super useful marketing content that will help with your business? But this is totally up to you. You just have to keep in mind that when you are deciding your domain name, always have a long-term picture or a business goal in mind before setting up your website. When I first started my website, I didn't think that far. Dash hyphens numbers. I would avoid them at all costs because it is difficult to remember, but there are successful websites that has dashes and hyphens and numbers. So this is really up to you. Go for a .com extension. Of course, this is the perfect scenario, but most .coms are already taken at this stage, but there are methods to snag up a good .com domain name. I'll share the details with you in another video. I've dropped the link in the description box. But if you have no choice but to buy a .net or a .org, here's what I suggest you do. See if anybody is running the same brand name with the .com extension, or is it just somebody who bought and hold the .com. You don't want to buy a domain name that conflicts with other brands with a .com domain. Everyone remembers a .com and not a .net or a .org or something like that. You don't want to give your traffic away to someone else, right? Next, your domain name should be easy to remember. Normally, if you have a domain that is unique, easy to spell, it creates an impression with people. People will more likely remember your domain name than a generic one. For example, every person I told about my website, barenaked.scam.com, still remembers it after years. I went to a gathering after so many years and my friends still ask me how I was doing with my Bare Naked Scam website. That's how I know that my website, my domain name is memorable. But of course, you don't want to wait a few years to know if your domain name is memorable, right? So here is how you do it. First, read your domain name back to yourself and ask yourself if your domain name is easy to read and does it relate to the business you're about to start. Another method is to tell a friend or a family member about the domain name idea you have and tell them what your website is going to be about. Then, after a few hours or a few days, revisit them and ask them if they remember the name of the website. Chances are, if your domain name is memorable, they will remember a part, if not the entire domain name. That's how you know your domain name is memorable. Next, your domain name should be brandable, which means that it reads really well and it does sound like a modern company name like Google, Shopify, Amazon. Having a branded domain name also helps with SEO with the latest update in the search engine algorithm. Search engines do take into consideration when people do a branded search term because it tells Google that you are an authority in the niche. For example, if someone is searching for a resource on Google and they start off with your domain name, like SproutMarketer, how to select a domain name, it actually tells Google that you are an authority when it comes to selecting a domain name. And if you have an article or content that satisfies that search term, Google will put more weight when it comes to giving rankings to the search term, how to select a domain name. This is just an example for you. But the problem with having a branded domain name is that it takes a lot more explaining before someone gets what your business is all about. That is, unless your brand name is descriptive like Shopify or Toys R Us. So for affiliate marketers, I recommend that you choose a descriptive brand name for your domain name. Now, you should be careful about infringing other brand names. For example, if you are an e-commerce store, you don't want to use a domain name like shopifycommerce.com or amazonking.com. It makes sense, right? You don't want to receive a cease and desist letter after your business has gained some traction. So before you decide to purchase a domain name, make sure that the name that you choose does not conflict with other brands. You should go to websites like US Trademark and Patent Office or Thomas Registry to see if your domain name conflicts with others. I've left the link in the description box below. Finally, this is the most important one. Can you stand behind the domain name? You see, before I started with SproutMarketer, I had many other domain names, but they just didn't kick off because they didn't click with me. I had Sproutly Marketing, Bare Naked Marketing, Sincere Marketer, and I just couldn't bring myself to progress with them no matter how nice they sound. So these are the 10 things you should consider before buying a domain name. I've prepared a checklist for this so that it will come in handy to you. If you want it, you can click on the link below and grab a free copy of it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so because we are going to share more tips and tricks like this to help you grow your affiliate marketing business every single week. And if you find this video helpful, I'll be grateful if you can let me know with a big thumbs up. Finally, if you have some tips and tricks that I haven't shared in this video, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And all the best to you and your affiliate marketing business. I hope to see you on the next.